coach, you guys made a concerted effort to push the pace against SMU on every possession change pretty much. I mean, how much did that impact the quality of the looks you guys got in that game?
I think it probably made them more uncomfortable, try to maybe wear down their shooters a little bit. You know, I don't think we got as many transition baskets as we would have liked to have gotten. Yeah. And that's just because they're such a well-coached team. They had some turnovers, but it wasn't a lot of them weren't runouts for layups. But it's just something that we've got to continue to do, though. Got to continue to do it, because in a game where it comes down to, you know, if it's a close game, if you can get 2 baskets because you're pushing the ball every time, and at 2 times you catch them sleeping, those 2 layups can, in a dogfight of a game, those 2 layups could be the difference. So we just something we got to continue to work on and develop our bench so we constantly have fresh players and we can play at a pace that's harder for other teams to play at.
Do you feel like that's a big key in this league, getting better looks and getting paint touches? Just
I think it's a big key for basketball in general. Yeah, I think it's a huge, you know, I think anything you can do to gain an advantage. It's much harder. It's probably the easiest statistic to give you is how much easier it is teams shoot a way higher percentage and they shoot a shot in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. That's because it's a fast break. It's not because they're running down and jacking up a 3 to start the offense. So if you can score before the other team's defense gets set, before their scouting report gets set, you're going to shoot a higher percentage.
A game like this, we've had some of these before where you're going to be heavily favored to win. What challenges, I mean, do they give you? It seems like they're…
Well, you know, I know everybody else gets concerned with who's favorite and records. I try to, you know, my job is to keep my guys focused on our opponent and what they do well, what they run on offense, what they like to do on defense, and what we're going to have to do to play at a high level against that opponent. Obviously, the next one's South Florida. Their record is completely irrelevant. We don't talk about it. We won't talk about who's favorite. You know, I got guys that are trying to chase dreams and have great careers, get themselves at a professional level. And your goal as a coach, if you can get a team mature enough to where you don't have to worry about the things everybody else worries about. You know, well, they're playing South Florida, and South Florida hasn't won a conference game, and will they be ready to play? I mean, you know, I don't know why you wouldn't be ready to play. You only get so many, you know, Gary Clark's only got so many games left in his career. Kyle Washington's only got so many left in his career. I mean, all these, you know, when you go to recruit all these guys, everybody asks you the same question. You know, what can you do to help my son get to the NBA? Well, if I got to motivate him to try in a college game, I don't like his chances. So it's just how we try to go. I say attempt, Gresh, because you're right. The outside infiltrates, human nature infiltrates. You know, and you got the competition. You know, will they be focused? It shouldn't be a factor. And if I'm doing my job, training these guys the way I'm trying to train these guys, try to keep these guys focused, it should be irrelevant who we play. You know. To be honest, all we talk about really is like having a good practice today and trying to get better every day. Because if you don't do that, you're never going to get where you're trying to go as a team or as an individual player.
Well, they have a lot of new guys, obviously.
Yeah.
And they don't score much. Their defense seems respectable, but what's any concerns that you do have with them?
Oh, with their coach. Brian's a great coach. He's proven it. You know, great coaches are viewed upon different ways, you know. Usually it's just based on wins and championships. In the coaching world, we view it on doing the best you can, that you're doing a great job with the talent that you have, which Brian did at Dayton, he did at Georgia Tech, and he's doing this year with the talent that he has. Like when you go to press them, you're not going to surprise them. Wichita State went to press them. They're in the right. They're always in the right spot. Always. So they're extremely well coached, they get worn down a little bit, and obviously getting the ball in the basket's been a challenge for them at times. They've had Banks out. I don't know if he's back. They lost their leading scorer once conference play started. So I don't know if he's back or not. Guess we'll find that out Saturday night. But they're extremely well coached, so that would be the main one. And I would assume their players would be excited to play.
How do different opponents approach trying to guard Gary and Kyle because they can both score? In the
Yeah, it's interesting because it's not always the same. You know, some people double. Kyle hasn't. Some people double them both. Some people only double Gary Clark. But it's gotten to a point where it's rare if they don't see a double team of late.
Okay. And do they do a good job of figuring that out and playing off of it?
Kyle's got to do a better job of it. He struggled with it a little bit. I mean, the film, it's not like I'm giving away secrets. People got the film. He's tried to make the home run pass out of the trap way too many times. Instead, sometimes you just got to get the ball to the first open man who's not going to be able to score. He continues to try to make an assist or just make the harder play. He's got to make the easier play out of the trap.
How hard is it if you had to guard those guys? How much of a challenge would it be to figure out what to do?
It's a great challenge.
Yeah.
You know, it's really something as you go on playing all these other teams. Very few teams throw the ball near the basket anymore, and it's kind of mind-boggling to me. But you know, if you don't shoot it lights out and have pro players on the perimeter, you got to get the ball near the basket so people will leave your shooters. Then they become better shooters. But it's the more we play as you go on these games, very few people throw the ball inside.
So that's a huge advantage for you?
It's something people have to deal with, you know, that they don't have to deal with. There was a time, obviously, before people shot 25 threes a game, where the first thing you did in a scouting report was, you know, how are you going to guard Kenyon Martin in the low post? And before that, it was how are you going to guard Danny Fortson in the low post, you know. And then, you know, that when you went as an assistant, when I started, that was the first thing, you know, how are you going to guard David West in the low post? Now the first thing is, you know, how well do they shoot the three? How many guys shoot the three? Do their big guys shoot the three? It's rare if my assistants say, hey, they got this guy, he scores inside, we're going to have to double team him.
So when teams scout you, they have to change their approach to scout.
Yes. It's something that they don't see game in and game out, are two guys that can score inside.
I know you're not a big fan of the two-game road swing.
Unless it's in Florida.
Is there anything different to do this time, maybe to mix it up or try something else?
Yeah, I don't remember the last time we did one, to be honest with you. No.
3 years ago, South Florida.
That's a long time.
When you played in the hockey rink.
Yeah, Shaquan was on that team. That's maybe 5 years ago. So, no, not really. Just worry about Saturday. We'll worry about Tuesday when we wake up Sunday.
You're staying down there the whole time, right?
Yeah. No point in traveling.
We were talking the other day, some of us, about Jennifer and his. Obviously, he's not a scorer, but he's under control this year more so than usual, and his lack of turnovers is really.
Well, it's important. The guy with the ball, taking care of the ball, is extremely important. And when you look at any sport, but especially basketball, scoring is glorified and assists are glorified. But few turnovers at the point guard position is invaluable to a coach and to winning. And then the other thing that Justin does for us is, and he continues to get better at, is ball pressure. You know, and because the other team's point of attack, if you can disrupt what they're trying to do, and uncomfortable teams shoot a lower percentage. And it all starts with the point of attack. He's doing a great job for us at the point of attack, because now for us it's full court, where he starts his pressure 94 feet. So, you know, he's doing a lot of things for us that, you know, the average fan may not see, because you say, well, he don't average that many points. But he takes care of the ball, and he starts our defense.
Mick, Jacob had a pretty good run last week. What's his ceiling as you look at him?
Oh, he's going to play in the NBA. It's just a matter of when.
I mean, where do you see the progression going?
Well, I think just kind of where I thought it was when I recruited him. Very rarely do I tell a parent your son's going to be a star. You know, and you know, he and his mom and I sat in my backyard and had a little one-on-one where she said, "But Coach, he needs to play harder. She's the best." You know, Jacob's mom is the best. Teresa, she played. She said, "He needs you. He needs more fire. He needs more intensity. He's got all the talent." Like, she really knows the game. You know, you know, we saw that as he got comfortable and he got more aggressive with his size and his ball skill, that when he was able to be more of a killer, be more intense for longer periods of time, that this day was coming. And I still think he's got a lot more that he's got in the tank. Yeah, I think he's got a lot more in the tank.
He gives you good minutes. He gives you a lot of minutes, but he gives you good minutes.
Well, the other thing Jacob do, you know, back to, you know, he's not a turnover guy. You know, he's a plus guy. You know, he probably will, you know, for us to get where we're trying to go, I need him to take a few more chances, to be honest with you. But, you know, the more he attempts to come out of his shell, the better we're going to be in the long run. And it's my job to get him there. But, you know, I guess Gresham, Bill would tell you, all the way back to the Cayman Islands of, you know, where I'm trying to put the ball in his hands at times and force feed him to where he has to be more aggressive, running plays for him. He's such an unselfish kid that really the most he got yelled at this year was halftime of the Wyoming game. Justin and Kane were both in foul trouble. Gary was in foul trouble. And I was running plays for Jacob, and he was looking to defer to other people. And he got told at halftime, you know, that Gary's out of the game. I think Kyle might have been out of the game. Like, there's a time, like, you got to know, hey, when coach is calling my number here, you know, I got to make plays. You know, it's different if you're getting a guy an assist on a shot, but he was just like giving the ball to the next guy. So I think he gets it now. He's a guy who's got great aptitude. Jacob's a highly intelligent person. And you don't have to tell him things more than once. He gets it. So, you know, I think the other thing is confidence. When you can make a big shot like he did against Temple, when you start to realize, hey, I might have a chance to be a professional, you know, I want him to want that. And the kid's got to chase that, because that hunger is what fuels a guy to be great. And you got to have a great player if you're going to have a great team. So the more I can get him to continue to show you what he's showing you and be better at it and do more of it, the better off we're going to be in the long run. All great teams got to have one or two guys that can make big-time plays.